September 5th, 1972. The 8th Olympiad in Munich, Germany. Billed as the Games of Peace and Joy, it was meant to erase the dark memory of the 1936 Berlin Olympics held under Hitler's shadow. But in the early hours of the morning, that peace was shattered forever. 8 members of a Palestinian terrorist group known as Black September scaled the fences of the Olympic Village and stormed the quarters of the Israeli team. The world watched in horror as a global celebration of sport became a hostage crisis. A bungled rescue attempt by West German police culminated in a bloody firefight at Fürstenfeldbruck Air Base. When the smoke cleared, 11 Israeli athletes and coaches, 1 German police officer, and 5 of the terrorists were dead. The games, paused for just 34 hours, would go on. But for Israel, something had irrevocably broken. Watching the carnage unfold from the air base was the head of Mossad, Zvi Zamir. The feeling of helplessness forged in him a cold iron resolve. He returned to Israel not with grief, but with a promise. "We shall reach them," he later recalled, "and each one of them will be responsible for his own crime." What followed was a secret war of retribution, waged in the shadows across the cities of Europe and the Middle East. It was a mission born from tragedy, authorized at the highest level of government, and executed by the world's most feared intelligence agency. This was Operation Wrath of God. The name Black September was not arbitrary. It was a direct reference to the conflict in September 1970, when King Hussein of Jordan violently expelled thousands of Palestinians from his country, a traumatic event that fueled a new wave of radicalism. This group was the hardline faction of the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO, and with the Munich Massacre, they had thrown down a bloody gauntlet. Back in Israel, a secret cabal was formed to answer that challenge. It was known only as Committee X. Chaired by the nation's steely Prime Minister, Golda Meir, it included Defense Minister Moshe Dayan and Counterterrorism Chief General Aharon Yariv. Their purpose was singular: to decide the fate of those responsible for Munich. Mossad Chief Zvi Zamir presented the reality of the situation. "Golda wanted very much that the people will be brought to trial," he said. "But she realized that this is impossible." The terrorists were scattered across the globe, protected by friendly Arab nations and hidden within European cities. Conventional justice was not an option. And so, Committee X made a fateful decision. They would not seek arrests. They would seek elimination. They authorized Mossad to compile a kill list of everyone involved, from the foot soldiers to the masterminds, and to hunt them down, one by one. The mission, code-named Operation Wrath of God, was officially underway. The man chosen to lead the hunt was Michael Harari, a legendary figure within Mossad known as the Zionist James Bond. Harari was the head of the Special Operations Division, Caesarea, an innovator known for his boldness and imagination. He assembled his teams, each with a specific function: assassins, bodyguards, logistics, and surveillance. Their goal was not just to kill, but to terrify. David Kimchi, one of the operations planners, explained the strategy. "We wanted to make them afraid of being a terrorist. We wanted to make them look over their shoulders and feel that we are upon them." This was a message that they can be got at anywhere at any time, and therefore they have to look out for themselves 24 hours a day. At the very top of Mossad's list was the man they identified as the chief architect of the Munich attack, Ali Hassan Salameh. Nicknamed the Red Prince for his lavish lifestyle, he was a charismatic playboy, a confidant of PLO leader Yasser Arafat, and a notoriously difficult target. While the hunt for Salameh began, Mossad decided to start with a softer target to send its first chilling message. On October 16, 1972 in Rome, a Palestinian intellectual named Abdel Wael Zweiter was returning home to his apartment building. He was the PLO's official representative in Italy. As he entered the lobby, 2 men stepped out of the shadows and fired 12 shots, killing him instantly. He was the first name crossed off the list. The campaign had begun. Over the next 6 months, a trail of bodies followed across Europe. In Paris, Dr. Mahmoud Hamshari, the PLO representative in France, answered his telephone. An agent on the other end confirmed his identity. Moments later, a bomb planted in the base of the phone was detonated remotely. Hamshari died from his injuries weeks later. In Cyprus, Hussein al-Bashir, the Fatah representative and suspected Black September member, was killed when a bomb placed under his hotel bed exploded in the middle of the night. The message was clear: no one on the list was safe. But Mossad was about to escalate its operations from clandestine street corner killings to a full-blown military assault. In April 1973, Mossad received a treasure trove of intelligence. 3 top-ranking PLO leaders, all on the kill list, were living in apartment buildings in the heart of Beirut, Lebanon. The targets were Kamal Adwan, the PLO's chief of operations, Kamal Nasser, a PLO executive committee member, and Mohammed Youssef al-Najjar, also known as Abu Youssef, an operations leader for Black September. Taking them out in a heavily fortified city required more than a 2-man hit squad. It required an army. The mission, codenamed Operation Spring of Youth, was handed to Israel's elite special forces, commanded by a young officer named Ehud Barak. The plan was audacious. Commandos would land on a Beirut beach via inflatable boats, be met by Mossad agents in waiting cars, drive into the city, eliminate all 3 targets simultaneously, and extract before the Lebanese army could respond. To minimize suspicion, some of the commandos disguised themselves as tourists. Barak and his second-in-command took it a step further. "It will reduce the suspicions," Barak explained. "We put everything in place. A wig and breasts and everything. And I had my Lieutenant Mookie Betzer. We were a couple." Just after midnight on April 10th, 16 Israeli commandos landed on the beach and were whisked away in 3 waiting Mercedes. When they reached the target buildings, the disguised soldiers emerged. The PLO guards were dispatched with silenced pistols. Then, the team stormed the apartments. The daughter of Kamal Adwan, just 5 years old at the time, later remembered the chaos. "Glass was being shattered on our heads," she said, "and I was telling my brother, they're playing cowboys and Indians here." In another apartment, Commando Mookie Betzer came face to face with Abu Youssef. "The face I knew from 3 weeks of carrying his picture in my shirt pocket looked at me as I raised my gun," Betzer recalled. "He slammed the door, burst from my Uzi, stitched the bedroom door. I rushed forward and kicked through the remains of the door. Within 30 minutes it was over. All 3 targets were dead." The commandos were back on the beach and out to sea. The Beirut raid was a stunning success. But Mossad's flawless record was about to come to a tragic and humiliating end. By the summer of 1973, 12 men on the list were dead, but the main target, Ali Hassan Salameh, remained at large. Then, a breakthrough. Intelligence tracked a man believed to be the Red Prince to the quiet town of Lillehammer, Norway. A full Mossad team descended on the town. On July 21st, they followed their target as he walked home from a cinema with his pregnant girlfriend. As he stepped out of a bus, 2 agents opened fire, killing him on the spot. But they had made a catastrophic mistake. The man they had killed was not Ali Hassan Salameh. He was Ahmed Bouchiki, an innocent Moroccan waiter who bore a passing resemblance to the terrorist leader. The fallout was immediate and disastrous. Norwegian police arrested 6 Mossad agents, exposing the secret operation to the world. The international outcry was immense. The Lillehammer affair was a profound humiliation for Mossad and for Israel. A shaken Golda Meir had no choice but to officially suspend Operation Wrath of God indefinitely. The Red Prince, Ali Hassan Salameh, had escaped. For years, Salameh lived as if he were invincible. He married a Miss Universe winner, traveled freely, and even appeared at the United Nations in New York. He settled back in Beirut, believing Mossad's campaign of vengeance was over. He was wrong. In January 1979, a woman traveling on a British passport under the name Erica Chambers rented an apartment with a view of Salameh's residence. She claimed to be an artist and spent her days painting scenes of daily life from her balcony. She was, in fact, a Mossad agent meticulously documenting every detail of Salameh's routine. After weeks of observation, the trap was set. Another agent planted 100 kilograms of explosives into a Volkswagen and parked it along Salome's daily route. On the afternoon of January 22nd, Salome left his apartment in a Chevrolet station wagon on his way to his mother's birthday party. As his car passed the red Volkswagen, Erica Chambers watched from her balcony and pressed the button on her radio detonator. The explosion was massive, tearing through the street and killing Salama, his 4 bodyguards, and 4 innocent bystanders instantly. At his funeral, a grieving Yasser Arafat was a pallbearer. "We have lost a lion," he lamented to the crowd of 50,000 mourners. "Stand proud. We bury a martyr. The hunt for the Red Prince was over." The death of Ali Hassan Salameh is widely considered the final act of Operation Wrath of God. The mission's legacy, however, is far more complex than a simple tally of bodies. Did it work? It certainly sent a shockwave of fear through terrorist networks worldwide. But while it eliminated many high-profile figures, others, including the mastermind who survived the Munich attack, were never caught. And the price was high, not least the life of an innocent man in Lillehammer. Was it justice or merely revenge? For the men who carried out the mission, the distinction was clear. As Commando Mookie Betzer stated, the Munich Massacre was a traumatic event. And there was a feeling of anger and a deep need to punish the organizations and, once and for all, to get rid of the so-called fighting of terrorists against civilians. Operation Wrath of God did not end the conflict, nor did it end terrorism. But it did forge the ruthless, uncompromising reputation of the Mossad. It was a dark chapter written in blood, a declaration that for the state of Israel there would be no forgiveness and nowhere to hide. It was a secret war of vengeance that proved that for every act of terror, there would be an equal and terrifying reaction.